the payroll tax holiday, the Social Security payroll tax holiday, which had been at 4.5%, it goes back up to 6.5%. So Daniel Marins, just because of that, most middle-class Americans are going to see their tax rates effectively go up, right?
That's correct, David. And in fact, the bigger revelation there is actually just that for middle-class Americans, their effective tax burden will be the effective increase in their tax burden is significantly greater than that for the wealthiest Americans. And keep in mind, we're also looking at some of the progressive taxes that were built into the Affordable Care Act coming into effect in 2013, and those also really only affect the wealthiest Americans. That is in large part due to the expiration of the payroll tax cut. Now, as you said, that was a 2 percentage point cut that was enacted in 2010 and then renewed in 2011. And so it temporarily cut the payroll tax, which pays for Social Security benefits, from 6.2% to 4.2%. Now, prior to 2010, there was also a major middle-class tax cut that was actually even more progressive and more targeted toward middle and working-class Americans. And that was called the Making Work Pay tax cut. That was a much larger bang for your buck in terms of the amount of money that it gave to middle-class families, including families who did not have an effective income tax burden or were eligible for the earned income tax credit and things like that. And it was capped at people with earnings of $75,000 a year for individuals and $150,000 for couples. So much more targeted to the people that would be more likely to spend money in the economy, much more effective in terms of stimulus as a result. And as someone who advocates for Social Security during the day, we oppose the payroll tax cut, and we're in favor of extending the Making Work Pay tax cut, or at least doing it through some other system, because we know that the payroll tax is exactly what enables Social Security to be self-funded and self-sustaining. And for 2 years there, Social Security was contributing the deficit because we were borrowing from the general fund to replace the missing payroll tax revenue. Mm-hmm. And so the fundamental building block that makes our Social Security system so strong, that makes it an earned benefit that all Americans pay into, the payroll tax, was being eroded, unfortunately. And when you think about the implications of it, for instance, that it giving Americans back 2 percentage points from their payroll tax contribution to take in their own pocket, it's not that different. It may not have been intended that way, but it's not that different from what President Bush proposed in 2005. You get to keep 2% of your payroll tax and invest it the way you want. Okay, so there might have been more strings attached in that case, but for Social Security advocates, this was very frightening. And when Franklin Roosevelt created Social Security and created the payroll tax, he specifically said, I put those payroll taxes in there so all Americans have a legal, political, and moral right to the benefits they earn, and no politician can take them away. That this is effectively a premium to purchase those benefits that makes it not like welfare, not like anything else. And while it is a flat tax rate, it's not progressive. It pays for a progressive benefit formula. And so we think that that's very important. And while I am upset that taxes are going up for middle-class families, ultimately the middle class will benefit more if the political foundation of Social Security is not eroded. I do think that the media was negligent in not informing middle-class voters that their taxes were going to go up because they focused so much on the Bush tax cuts.
I agree. Great explanation from Daniel Marins, our executive producer. You can follow him online on Twitter at Daniel Marins. And by the way, one of the things that President Obama said this week coming out of the negotiations is that he will not have negotiations again with Republicans on the debt ceiling. But the debt ceiling is one of those issues that has not yet been resolved. Should we believe President Obama when he says he will not negotiate with Congress over the debt ceiling? We will talk with Matt Stoller coming up on the other side of this break. You are listening and watching